Hey everyone, welcome back. It is our fourth video of the week. As you can tell in my voice, it's a little sore because it's been a long week for us, but we are here. We are back. As promised, Campo and I will be doing our own fantasy draft for our own prospective shows. The other night, Campo and I were at a restaurant. We did a tail flip and we made our picks. I had the first pick. As I'm going to show you momentarily, I am going with blue of Smackdown, and Campo will be going with the red of Raw, as you can see on our screen over here. So, like I said, at the restaurant the other night, Campo and I did a coin flip. I had the first pick. I'm going with the Raw brand, and with my first pick, I pick Seth Rollins. That's the guy you build a franchise around, and that's why he's my number one pick.
Yeah. Well, my number one pick is because I couldn't get Seth Rollins, so I picked Cody Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes. That's exactly right. Because that's another guy you can build a franchise around. My second pick, he is a current champion in the WWE, and that's Gunther. Gunther is another guy that has a high ceiling, tremendous future, can have a great match with anyone.
Well, clearly at this point, JD's just trying to pick all the guys I want. So I figured I might as well pick the best wrestler that works in the company, Shinsuke Nakamura.
Which is Campo's now picking all the other guys I want. And because I know if I didn't pick Gunther, he would have picked Gunther. And so with my third pick, I end up picking the best female wrestler in the company right now, in my opinion, and that's Asuka.
Which is fair. I'm going to take Bianca Belair, longest reigning champion.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, she is. And with my next pick, I am going with high-flying talent, a guy that doesn't get a great push, and that's Ricochet.
So at this point, I see your weakness. And I think that I need to capitalize on my women's division, and I picked Rhea Ripley.
Which is an excellent choice. So with the fact that you picked Rhea Ripley and I noticed my women's division was lacking a bit, I end up picking Damage Control, all three of them. Because they can work as tag teams, they can work as singles competitors, they can do it all.
I hate the idea of picking factions, but it happened. So I took the OC. I get another woman, I get a tag team, and I get AJ Styles.
So what I did was I went with the same idea. I picked a faction as well, and I ended up picking Judgment Day because now I get another tag team and I get another top star I can build a company around.
So then I was like, well, I want another tag team and I want Sheamus. So, I mean, I hate the Brawling Brutes, but
because I know how much you love Pete Dunne's legs.
But I get a tag team out of it. I get a faction out of it, and I think having Sheamus is an important thing, especially if you're building WWE.
Yeah, true. With that, I made my next pick, and I ended up picking another women's wrestler, and I ended up picking up Becky Lynch.
All right. Well, then I saw, okay, you're trying to catch up at this point to certain things. So I was like, okay, this is my chance to pull out. I took another tag team. I took the Usos.
Yeah. So with that, you took probably the greatest tag team in the WWE. So I went with the second best tag team, and I took the Street Profits before you had a chance to take them.
Which is fair enough, because at this point, I felt like, well, I have a lot of good tag teams. He has just basically the Street Profits. What can I do to be better? Okay, I'll take Sammy Owens.
Sammy Owens
And Kevin Zane.
Brian Zane. Shout out to Wrestling with Brooklyn. So like I said, I'm trying to build up a tag team division now. So I went to NXT and I took Pretty Deadly.
And that was pretty deadly of you. I mean, shout out to Danny. I picked Drew McIntyre. I mean, I don't know how long I'll have him for, but he's a lifer. He's a yes man, and I have like 4 yes men on my team at this point. So
yeah, you do. Drew McIntyre is an excellent pick. I went with young talent again, and I ended up going with Carmelo Hayes, the current NXT champion.
Which It's fine. I probably would have went with him eventually, but I was like, I thought you would have took Braun Breaker, so you didn't take Braun Breaker, so I took Braun Breaker.
Yes, you did, which is an
Um,
excellent choice. I
yeah,
went I went with another. I don't want to call it faction, but I went with two people who can go. It's Karrion Kross and Scarlett.
yeah, they can go out of this company to the unemployment line. Um, WWE has no idea what to do with Karrion Kross. I'm just gonna put that
But I
out there.
do. So
Um, I went with Rey Mysterio. It's gonna put butts in seats.
yep.
Yeah, he can still put on a good match.
And I go with younger, high flying talent. Once again, I went with the only member of the LWO of Santos Escobar,
Which is fine because I don't even know who that is. So I immediately was like, all right, I'll take someone young too and take Zoe Stark.
which I was very upset at that pick.
My
So
women's division is stacked.
mine's not that bad myself.
I mean, obviously not. We
Be-
picked all the best people they had.
because now I picked Indy Hartwell.
Yes, which I was like, okay, you have Indy Hartwell. She can almost wrestle, so I'll take the queen. Honestly, I
Who
don't know how we let Charlotte Flair drop this low.
I'm just not a fan.
Yeah,
I'm letting personal preference too play into my picks as well.
I have zero personal preference at
Yeah.
play.
But I'm keeping on pilfering talent from NXT. I think he's going to be a star. I went with Grayson Waller.
And then I immediately picked what would make you upset right away, which is the best NXT wrestler, Ilya Dragunov.
Yeah. So with that, I needed another tag team and I needed something credible. So I went with the Viking Raiders.
I went with someone that I can't believe made it this far, but I'll take him because it's gonna sell tickets. It's Roman Reigns.
Yep. Roman Reigns will sell tickets. I ended up going with a guy that you said is not there yet, but he will be one day if they give him that push, and that's Bronson Reed.
Yeah, that was fair. And then I just took your guy just to make you upset,
Yes.
Johnny Gargano. I don't actually want him. I'm probably gonna cut him.
Yeah. So with that, I went with the current United States champion. I went with a best chicken shit heel out there right now is Austin Theory.
Which then I immediately tried to pick him, not realizing that you just picked
Yes,
him.
you did pick Austin Theory after I picked Austin Theory. At
Liv,
this point, Campo already threw back, what was it, a 32-ounce beer?
I don't know, it was very large.
And a shot of Jaeger.
Yeah.
And that chili cheese dog.
I mean, that was worth it.
The chili cheese dog looked good.
Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez.
Yeah. So I needed a women's tag team, a second women's tag team to go against Damage Control. So I went with Fire and Dawn.
Yeah, I'll be making my own other women's tag team, so that's fine. Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. Brock Lesnar was an excellent pick. I went with young talent. As you can see, I'm going very cruiserweight, very young talent. I picked Dragon Lee.
I should have picked Dragon Lee. I'm very upset that I didn't pick Dragon Lee. I forgot that he existed in WWE because I remember him being like not a WWE wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
So I took Bobby Lashley.
Bobby Lashley.
Like just to be this deep down in the draft and have had like 30 something people picked already, to be able to get butts and seats names like Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley, to me was just like clutch moves. I don't really care if I like them or not.
All right. And before we reveal our last pick, I just wanted to let you guys know what our premise was. We had to have, was it minimum of 5 women on the roster?
Yeah.
Minimum of 5 women, 2 tag teams, I think it was.
No, 3. It was 3.
3 tag teams and anybody else. It had to be WWE talent. It had to be somebody who's currently in WWE as well, right? Any other stipulations we added to this?
I don't remember.
It was only last night. It seems like a blur.
But yeah, we just wanted to like show if you're gonna do a draft, this is like how you should have did it. Maybe certain people are out of order, and obviously WWE would have done differently. Like Brock Lesnar probably would have went at the top, but I feel like just the way they did the draft was so poor.
Yeah. So with that out of the way, my final pick is Bray Wyatt,
which I laughed at.
Yes, he did. But like you said, as much as you don't like the guy, that's going to put butts in seats.
Yeah, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. And then I made a really terrible pick. I regret it every minute of the day. I picked the Creeds.
You
I
get a
mean,
good one in Julius Creed, but you get a not so good
and
one in
it
Brutus
gives me
Creed.
a tag team. It gives me a storyline. They are pretty popular, but like when I thought about other people I could have picked after, like I could have took Tyler Bates
Yeah,
or JD McDonough. Like there's multiple other people I could have picked.
yeah. I might cut one. Like I think as so yeah. I mean, they could get cut. We could make a surprise pick, maybe supplementary pick. But that's our draft, guys. Who would you have drafted as your first overall pick if you did your own WWE draft? Do you guys play WWE 2K? Do you guys play GM mode? Let us know what you guys are doing in your GM mode. Who are your top picks? Who's your champion in your GM mode? Who is your top star? Who's a guy you would build a company? Let's expand it. Throw a name out there, even if it's in AEW. Who's a guy you can build a company around and throw your top pick? Campo, anything else you got to add before we end?
Kenny Omega.
Kenny Omega. Well, yeah, that's a given. But we weren't. That was the other stipulation. It had to be WWE talent, not anybody from outside of WWE.
Can I just pick Kenny Omega 20 times?
Just clone them and multiple Kenny Omegas.
Yeah,
It's a
that's what I
20-man
want.
tag team. A 10 Kenny Omegas versus 10 Kenny Omegas.
I'll take it. No questions asked.
How about if it's 10 Kenny Omegas and 9 versus 9 Kenny Omegas and a Kazuchika Okada?
That's fair.
So, like I said, with that out of the way, thanks again for joining us. Tune in tomorrow. We will have another Spider-Man video of Let's Play. It's probably going to be the finale of the DLC. So I'm going to post in my Instagram and on Discord what's the next game you guys want to see on the playthrough. Follow Campo. I'll have all his information down in the description box below. We just went to go see Guardians of the Galaxy over the past weekend. By this point, maybe the review's out, maybe it's not. If it's out, I'll have it linked in the description below. Go on and check that out. And if you're new here and you haven't subscribed to me, subscribe to me and then go subscribe to Campo, because RLG Cast, that's your source for all your movie reviews, all your hockey talk. If you're into hockey playoffs, that's the guy you got to go check out. So with that out of the way, thanks again for joining us. We'll see you next time. Goodbye and good night.